Hey there, this is going to be a collective reading in honor of the Pisces Lunar Eclipse on the North Node coming up on August 27th and 28th. So it's around 9:15 p.m. If you're on the Pacific coast of the US, and then moves into the later hours and early morning hours the further east you go. So that's why you hear some people say Friday. But we're in the window of it now as I record this, you know, the few days before and the few days after. And I already set my intention that this be in the highest good of any and all that tune in, and may I be a clear channel and there be no interference for the messages that need to come through. So I hope if you're here, welcome, and that you hear something helpful. I'm going to start with an animal, some pre-shuffled oracle cards, so one from the animal spirit deck, and then I also pulled a Starseed Oracle card. I'm going to save that for the very end, and I think I'm going to do a 3-card Aquarian Tarot, like what do we need to release, what's current at the time of the eclipse, and then like what do we need to know moving forward. And with that, I just invite you to take a breath, lend me your ears for a little bit, and look at this animal spirit card and just see what it brings up in you specifically before I add words to it. There's that little eye. That's how the artist signed it. That's neat. That's what's jumping out at me is, well, first of all, the eyes everywhere in the wings. I mean, those are beautiful, and eyes being symbols of consciousness and higher awareness. And this card is, when I first pulled it, it left me in awe. I have not pulled this card out of this deck yet that I can recall. But it's actually the eagle, which is interesting with how, like, it's got this pure whitish golden tint to it. And there's like a purity, a rawness, and a power when I look at it. And this ability of sight. So even though I said lend me your ears, it's more of an inner sight. And this card is really, you know, it's not just one eagle. It's, you know, there's this bird and then this one, but then this one sort of tucked in over her head, her third eye center. And then she has a really peaceful, serene look on her face. And I don't know, there's such a knowing to this card. So I feel like that's the first message, is what does your deep knowing say, and how can you tap into your deep knowing independent of external influences. And that's not easy to do these days because we're just so tapped into everything else. And you're gonna have to forgive the loud snoring dog in the background. Like I joke, let it just be some ASMR to remind you to breathe. That's a whole different story, but I used to find it distracting and annoying, but now it's just sort of this, I'm just grateful she's breathing it all. So that could also be a message coming through to pay attention to your breath, to take in air, and with the eagle catches air. So there it does look like there's a little bit of a horizon line here with water, and this is a Pisces moon, and it just passed the North Node at the time it peaks. So there's something about destiny here and breaking out of the box. And then there's also, the sun just had a conversation with the karmic past in Leo. So, and it's hovering around Mercury in Virgo at the time the full moon peaks. So there may be some messages of what's in your heart or what's ready to be released. And I really feel like this, they say eclipses are times of change and realignment, and the nodes of the moon have just shifted into Leo and Aquarius, and so that sets the stage for the next year and a half. So we're letting go of the prior eclipse cycle, if you look back to February and March, but then we're also letting go of the prior 1.5 years of the nodes and the prior signs. But to me, this feels like more of a closeout. Feels like the end of an era or a release of like decades, maybe years. It'll you'll know in your case, but this is closing out some major, I hesitate to use the word karmic past, but anything that's really tripped you up, I feel like if you've been doing the work, it can it's gonna dissolve. It's gonna dissolve under this Pisces full moon, and there's going to be new ways to fly forward, like brand new ways. And we're in between eclipses, so if you're a little bit more exhausted or you're not sure what that means, it's okay. All I'm trying to say is Pisces is a sign of letting go, of accumulation, of endings. So are full moons. It's like the balsamic phase, right? So we've got this full moon, balsamic, in Pisces, which is also balsamic. It's a closing out of all the 11 signs leading up to it. It's the endings and the beginnings. So this just feels like a huge transition point in between an old ending and a new beginning, and stuff that you maybe have been working on for a long time. Cycles within spirals. So if that resonates, take it. If it doesn't, leave it. But that, I feel like drawing the eagle card, there's also this sense of presence and protection watching over you as you move forward. And in this card, it's looking this direction, which I would associate with the past. So there's also this, what are we letting go of to free up space to move forward? And that can be within, that can be our thoughts, that can be relational, that can be locational, that can be, sometimes souls choose to leave at this time, whether it's people or animals. I know that Dolly Parton just passed yesterday, and that has affected a lot of people. A couple of people's pets I know have crossed over. And all that to say, just treat this transition with great care. I once had a yoga teacher say the transitions matter just as much as the poses when you move from one thing to the next. So whether that be a downward dog to a Tadasana, or moving from one place to another within or without, or moving from the 3D into a newer dimensional realm, the transition is significant. And I say that right as the clock struck 10. So again, another completion sign. So with that, I'll keep moving here. I'm going to read the back of this card, and then I'll pull the 3 cards, and then I'll share that. I'm really excited about that Starseed card. So if you want to just look at it one more time, it's a really powerful card. It's got like a composure. And while eagles are and air is masculine, there's also this sweet feminine touch with the water and the woman looking out. So the back of these cards is always so interesting. The symbology is power, creation, illumination, and exploration. So almost every culture that's had contact with eagles has imbued them with power and influence. Native American tribes worship the bird as the great spirit, the creator of all things. Eagle legends frequently involve journeys into dangerous or unknown territory. A Northwest Native American myth tells of the eagle setting out with the coyote to the land of the dead to retrieve the spirits of the deceased. Eagle feathers have thus been used as talismans by shamanic healers venturing into the netherworld, and they are given as rewards for individual feats of courage or bravery. In this painting, the eagle blends with the face of a woman, suggesting the power of the anima, the feminine archetype. The eyes of the eagle appear in repeated succession, and the woman looks into the distance, signifying courage and foresight. So there may be some looking into the distance and needing some courage and foresight. And then also the anima is the feminine archetype within. If you're a masculine listening to this, that would be your unconscious inner feminine that you'd want to give attention to. And if you're female, that's going to be your conscious mind. And that there's power in that, you know, there's gold in the shadows. Like Carl Jung said, that you know, it's not easy to do the healing work or the shadow work, but there is gold in there. And sometimes it doesn't happen as quickly as we want. You know, don't get the cash and prizes, but this card is so powerful. I almost feel tempted to leave the reading here. If you don't have any more time to listen, I would say you can call it here before I continue. And yeah, I don't know. I really like that card. Like it kind of leaves me in awe, like giving all these words to it, but it kind of is beyond words, which is also what Pisces is, beyond words, the dream world, the subconscious, the inner anima. And this vision, what's the vision, you know, we just got out of all this Leo energy, and that, you know, it has a vast array of a spectrum within it. You know, it can be all the way from the shadow of that can be narcissism in the collective and within ourselves. But, you know, in its higher octave, it's the courage and the heart and the lion. For some reason, I'm thinking of Wizard of Oz with Courage the Cowardly Lion. Which, if you're feeling like a coward, then how can you be gentle and talk to that part and figure out what's going on? He's so cute. I haven't seen the Wizard of Oz for so long, but for some reason, it's like he's so lovable, right? So I feel like there's a message there of how can you love whatever is afraid to move forward, because there's a lot changing right now, and change can just bring up fear too. Endings and beginnings. But if you can connect to what's in the heart, that remains constant. And if that can be a tether as the, you know, the change is constant always and swirling around always. Wow, I didn't think that one card would inspire so much, but we'll just do like a past, present, future. What needs released? What needs current? Like, what do we need to know as we move through this lunar eclipse, and what do we need to know moving forward? Just breathe, center. Eight of Rods, there's some forward movement. So again, that's some fast forward motion. It almost looks like those rods are eyes. Transformative fire. So I would say that we need to release whatever is keeping us from moving forward, maybe as it relates to the inner anima, or where we're lacking courage. Yep, because that's what we need to know at the time of the full moon. The Strength card reversed, which the Strength is often the Lion. Interesting. It's like the cards are listening to me talk. It's also a major arcana card. So Strength reversed, you know, I would say that this full moon is maybe illuminating where you're afraid to move forward or let go and say goodbye. Maybe you're feeling a little weak. And then, you know, these rods are just straight going into that, the Strength. So it's almost like this Strength reversed is what we have the opportunity to work with during this full moon. Because, you know, the Pisces moon is still opposing the sun's in Virgo, but it's freshly in Virgo, and it just ran the gamut in Leo. So did Mercury. Like the South Node they just talked. There's like a lot of conversational planetary archetypes happening. So also, where's your not like where's your ego getting in the way? Like, I'm not saying just suppress the ego, but just where are you getting in your own way? And how can you let go of that, Pisces? That feels really good. And the Strength, I also believe, is the number 8, which is the infinity. So, you know, can be the infinity symbol, and maybe that number has significance for you. You know, it's 8 if it's upright, and then if you turn it on its side, it's infinity. So I find that interesting that that's the middle card here, and that bunch of cards just turned sideways. I don't need 10 cards right now, thanks. Okay, let me just breathe. What do we need to know moving forward after the moon peaks? This card just fell. Page of Swords. So how to mentally move forward. Got the pink skies in the background. He's actually looking forward into the future. So that's beautiful. Page of Swords is also like a message. So a message may be coming through. Swords is mental, and it's also air. So again, referencing back the eagle. How do you get out of your How do you let go and get out of your own way to, I would say, release what, I mean, maybe this is something you've been trying to let go of for a long time, and now just like out of nowhere, it's just time to go, time to move to the new thing, time to move on. Or maybe it's something you've struggled to let go of and now you just can effortlessly. There is a quality of guardianship to this Page of Swords, same with the Eagle. So as you look to the horizon to find your vision and courage, it's like, don't let your thoughts get carried away with you, but how can you stay centered in your heart to tap into the courage to see the way forward with what's right for you and your personal circumstances? And you know, we go from sort of a gray, dreary, dull with a little bit of red for this past card, and then the current card. There's a lot of red, power and strength. Let me look at this upright real quick. Ooh, there's a dog in there. I love this deck. I always go to use my other decks, and this one always calls to me. A little bit of warrior energy. He's got the stash, though. That's so funny. So I also feel like there's some fatherly, protective energy coming through. Whether that be your actual father, someone from the other side looking out for you, or your inner father archetype you can call on as well. To tap into that strength. And you could maybe look at where is that lacking within you to strengthen that, I'm hearing. And then, yeah, so we move from transformation, a little bit of the fire red power, but then it kind of goes into this pink skies, pink, you know, the pink on the head, there's just this, like, even though it's a sword, it's got this softer softening into a more nurturing, creative energy moving forward. So if the full moon's very intense, I feel like on the other side of that there could be a softening. Is there anything else that wants to come through before I flip over that last Starseed card? I'll just take a moment to say thanks for being here and tuning in. I apologize, I have not been as consistent with this as I want this. It's been a wild summer, so I hope you've had a good summer. And I guess this full moon is also the end of summer as well, because then we'll be moving into September. And a new cycle, even though we're not to the equinox yet. But yeah, I guess with the Page of Swords, it just say, stay watchful of your thoughts, and like there's a guardianship, like a watchfulness. But what I really get from it is like composure from being able to like watch your thoughts or keep a lookout, or as you look into the future. So with that, I really like the colors. I really like the colors of this layout. Okay, the final card, dun, 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 from the Starseed Oracle deck is Inner Earth. You'll survive this. New solutions and beginnings. And I promise you, I did not pick that. That's what I shuffled. So I like this Eight of Rods pointing to this card. So you've got this, it's almost like a portal, right? Into this ocean. I don't know, it's a really beautiful card. Lush greenery. You'll survive this. New solutions and beginnings. This is what the deck has to say, or the book. So inner Earth is believed to be a hidden subterranean world within the planet itself. Many ancient cultures mention it in their stories. It's said that some beings of ancient lost lands such as Lemuria, Atlantis, and Aryavarta went there. Hindu and Celtic lore mention caves and entrances to underground worlds. Tibetan Buddhism refers to the secret mystical city Shambhala, which is thought to be located in the Himalayas. Many have searched for inner Earth in the physical world, but without success. So the mystery continues. Is it a place that exists in the physical, or is it in another level of consciousness? That makes me think of all the eyes on the eagle. But this view almost looks like it could be from an eagle's eye view too. And then it says, lend me your ears. There are solutions beyond what you can perceive. Surprising outcomes to your problems and situations. Resolutions that are in the best interests of all involved. If you find yourself facing an obstacle or feeling stuck and have no idea what to do, you're being reassured that there is a way out. You'll survive this and things will work out. If you're stuck in a rut, do something to shake up the energy and shift your thinking. Try something you wouldn't normally do. Soon you'll see that a whole new world of solutions are available. Things that were previously beyond your focus will present themselves. Helpful people, signs from the universe, and support in both expected and unexpected ways are on their way to you. But first you need to do something different to shift your focus so that you can receive them. That tracks. And I pulled this before those other three cards, but I would say that it resonates with the message of the 3-card spread we did. So the soul inquiry is, what can you do to shift your energy or your outlook? Thanks for being here.